I know these days on TikTok, it's a lot of people name dropping as far as false prophets and people talking about false prophecies and all of that. And I think it's very important that we do know what God has to say about the prophets and how they should operate, right? But I just want to drop something on you. I was watching a podcast yesterday. Had nothing to do with false prophecies. They were actually talking about prayer, intercession, interceding for your family, your husband, your children, those kinds of things. And one of the ladies was using the Last Supper in her speech or what she was trying to convey to us, right? But as she said it, it made me think about false prophets because God has been having me study them. I've had a couple videos, I think, on it. And it was amazing to me how Jesus is at the table with the disciples and he says, someone here is going to betray me. This is what they're going to do to me. But he didn't name drop. So if the Messiah didn't name drop Judas, they let Judas tell him himself, why are we so pressed to run around his head, point out names and point at people and say, you a false prophet, you a false prophet, you a false prophet? I'm beginning to think that it's more about teaching people the signs rather than trying to point out a person, because even though we can feel like we're convinced that someone's a false prophet, it's really for God to say what's on this person's heart. You don't know if someone's been taught wrong, if someone's being misled, if they believe they're right, if they're deceived. There's so many different things and you don't really know all of the details, right? And I would rather be cautious, not put my mouth on people, but rather tell people like, this is what a prophet should be doing, or this is what they shouldn't be doing. These are the works of the prophet. These are not the works, and not necessarily running around being so quick to build a platform off of someone else's failures or someone else's name. We are called to, what's the scripture say? Call out the works of darkness, but it says the works of darkness. It didn't say the workers, did it? And maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, but when she was telling the story, I was just thinking like, wow, the Messiah didn't even name drop. But here we are on this platform, name dropping left and right. It's amazing to me. What do you think?